Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name's Emma. How are you doing? I hope you're doing really well. This is a book haul, so we're just gonna be hauling some books. Actually, all of these, no, not all of these, but most of these are going to be for my up-and-coming university courses that I'm taking. If you have not checked out my last vlog, this one, it's kind of where I explain what I'm doing academically, but most of these are for these courses, so you get to see kind of what are on my different syllabi for the next few months. So without further ado, I have a huge stack right beside me. I'm just gonna start pulling the titles. So the first one that we have here, these are in no particular order, but the classes that they belong to, you can probably tell. We have the Latin American novel. Oh my god, so excited. We have Indigenous literature, voices from Canada, and then we also have it's called, I think, ecology and literature, ecological literature. It's literature concerned with like the environment, climate change. The first book of this book haul, we have the Motorcycle Diaries, Notes on a Latin American Journey. This is by Ernesto K. Guevara. This is a gorgeous copy. This, I believe, is like a non-fiction memoir about our guy who goes on a motorcycle journey. Yes, a diary of his journey to discover the continent of Latin America while still a medical student, setting out in 1952 on a vintage Norton motorcycle together with his friend who was a biochemist. It's gonna be so interesting. This one comes with like so many pictures, so it's just like his impressions. It begins so cool. This is not a story of heroic feats or merely the narrative of a cynic. At least I do not mean it to be. It is a glimpse of two lives running parallel for a time with similar hopes and convergent dreams. I think this is gonna be so good. I had never heard of this until it was on the syllabus for the course, so that is that one. What edition even is this? Seven Stories edition? Seven Stories Press edition. So that is the first one in this book haul. Okay, so this next one I had actually DNF'd last year, I think, but now I have a new copy of it. All of these actually were just sent to me when I paid for my tuition in a big box, so even if I had any of these books, they were sent to me anyway, and that is The Break by Katerina Vermette. I put this down not with the intention to like DNF it permanently, but just because at the time it was a lot to handle. This won so many different Canadian awards, but I did start listening to this on audiobook, and it is the story of a young Métis mother. The Break is this patch of land in between, I think, her house and like where the neighborhood, I guess, continues or keeps going on. It's a barren field on an isolated strip of land. Anyway, so she looks out her window one night at this break and she sees something going on. It looks like it definitely is not a good thing. It's probably a crime. It's probably something not good activity. So she calls the police, and the police show up and they're so condescending to her, and they kind of just leave. It follows different narratives in this community. We have different people. We have Cheryl, an artist who mourns the premature death of her sister, Lou, a social worker, Paulina, a single mother, Phoenix, a homeless teenager, and Officer Scott, who is also a Métis policeman. It's the story of a multi-generational family dealing with the fallout of a shocking crime. Yeah, I just put it down at the time because it was really too heavy for me at that period of my life, but I am going to have to pick it up again and try to get through it because it is about everyone dealing with I think the shocking crime of what happens out on The Break. So that is The Break. Next up we have a play. I haven't read a play in so long, and that is The Rez Sisters by Thompson Highway. First of all, it's so shiny. It's so shiny. We have 7 women from a reserve attempting to beat the odds by winning at bingo. It is the biggest bingo in the world and a chance to win a way out of a tortured life. Again, I had never heard of this until I saw it on the syllabus. It looks super interesting. I've actually never played like real bingo, like actual bingo. I've never been to like a bingo event, a bingo tournament, if you will. We have one that I'm really excited for, and that is Monkey Beach by Eden Robinson. Man, the vintage Canada publications are always like, they're just the glossiest books I own. I have a couple over there and they're just like the glossy. I don't know, I just love the gloss. We have a 17-year-old boy who goes missing, and we have his, I think, younger sister or same age sister who is dealing with this grief of her brother just going missing, like he's just gone, and so she sets out on her own to find him, and her search takes her to Monkey Beach, which is a beach that is famously known for Sasquatch sightings. I'm really excited because it's set in British Columbia. I have not read a book set in BC for so long, but set in the cool shadows of the coast mountains. Also, I don't know why, but it smells like buttery chocolate. It smells like buttery chocolate. That is the 5th time this week. Psst, I have something that can help. Is it a shredder? No, it's called Cam Scanner. Well, unless it can somehow scan all of my notes and turn them into digital format, then that's exactly what it does. Say more. Cam Scanner is an app that transforms your phone into a portable digital scanner so that you can turn any of those documents into formats like PDF, Word, JPEG, etc. while you're on the go. So I can just scan my notes and send them to friends or colleagues? Yes, it's about to be super helpful for me because you know what season spring is? The season of flowers? Taxes. This is about to make my life so much easier. You can scan your documents, organize them how you want, share them with other people. The best scanning app. This says it has over 700 million downloads. You're welcome. Do you want some help with all this mess? I won't be needing them anymore. And then I'm honestly kind of thrilled to have a new copy of 100 Years of Solitude. I'm even more thrilled by the fact that, yes, this means that 100 Years of Solitude is on my reading list. Can you? I never thought. Can you believe it? Bless you. Bless you. In my wildest dreams that I would be able to read 100 Years of Solitude for school. Like, oh my god, I'm so excited. It's actually the first work that I'm going to be reading for the Latin American novel course. I don't know if I'm going to do a full reread, but let's just take a second to compare the two. We have the one that is very well loved, very faded, and then we have the new one. So, oh wow, look at that difference. Oh my gosh, look at how, oh my wow. I mean, this one is just the one I love because it's so floppy now. And then this one I think will probably, you know, it's gonna need some breaking in, but I might reread the whole thing. But like, I did just finish my second reread of this book in the fall, early fall, late summer, so I don't know. And plus, like, I have everything tabbed, so if I were to write an essay, which, like, you can bet your buttons I'm gonna try my hardest, I think I have everything kind of sorted out that I'd like to talk about. So I don't know, but I'm very thrilled to like see a brand new copy, because when I bought this copy it wasn't brand new, it was thrifted from a library. Very funny to have a brand new copy. See if I want to annotate it again. I could have two differently annotated copies of 100 Years of Solitude, which would be fun. The next book, also for the Latin American course, is The President by Asturias. Sick name. The author is a Guatemalan diplomat, and though I don't think it's ever specifically stated that the book is set in Guatemala, it does represent a lot of Guatemalan history. I believe this book is about the effects of totalitarianism and a totalitarianist state. The story of a ruthless dictator and his schemes to dispose of a political adversary in an unnamed Latin American country, employing such literary devices as satire to convey the government's transgressions and surrealistic dream sequences to demonstrate the police state's impact on the individual psyche. The font is really tiny, I'm not gonna lie. I also really don't like when books like leave so much blank space. I mean, this is great for annotating and stuff, but I really don't like so much blank space, especially at the top of a page. I don't know why it really bothers me. I've never read anything by this author. If you have, please let me know. The next one is, what is this? H is for Hawk by Helen MacDonald. Another one I had never heard of. These courses are so, I'm so happy with the ones that I picked, and I'm so glad I got to pick these courses. So H is for Hawk is more of like a memoir. Helen MacDonald, I think herself, even as a child, she always wanted to be a falconer. Is that what it's called? She read the really famous book, is it called The Goshawk, I think? But then Helen's father dies and she's plunged into grief, and it's during this time of restlessness and reflection that she's like, okay, you know what, I've always wanted to do this, and I'm gonna go buy a hawk. I'm gonna go buy a hawk, and I'm gonna take it back to Cambridge with me. Yes, and then she's going to embark on the long, strange business of trying to train this wildest of animals. So it's more like a record of a spiritual journey, I guess, is what the back says. I'm feeling like a little bit ambivalent about this one. It seems very long for a memoir about hawk training. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. Like, this is the one that I'm most like probably would not gravitate towards myself, but that is the hawk. This next one's, okay, this one's cool because I actually have another one of this author's books on hold, or my tags list on Libby, I should say. And that is Kim Stanley Robinson, and this one is Aurora, but I've been looking at New York 2140 for such a long time, and I've never put it on hold on my audiobook, whatever, so now I have Aurora, which is a completely different one. As you can probably guess by the title, the cover, we have some science fiction back in my academic life. It's the incredible story of our first voyage beyond the solar system. And I'm really interested because this is for like the ecology course, so I have no idea what we're going to talk about or like what's even going to be in here to talk about from an ecological standpoint. I imagine it's going to be super interesting because like we're leaving our solar system, so it might not even be our ecology necessarily. Anyway, that is Aurora. Then we have 3 short ones in a row, which is nice because a lot of these have been a bit heavy, let's not lie. We have How I Became a Nun by Cesar Era. Am I saying that right? No idea what this is about. It barely comes with a synopsis. All I know is that it follows the voice of a 6-year-old child, and it's called A Modern Day Through the Looking Glass. It begins with cyanide poisoning and ends in strawberry ice cream. If you know anything about this, please let me know. Then we have another very, very short, extremely thin one, and that is The Sasquatch at Home by Eden Robinson. We have another, yeah, we already have Monkey Beach, right? Which was by Eden Robinson. Yes, so this one is a talk that she delivered, and it is just contained in this book. I have one that I've already started because I wanted to get a little bit ahead, and that is Earth Elder Stories, told by Alexander Wolf. So this is more about the oral stories. He specifically is a Saulteaux Ojibwa storyteller and the keeper of his family's oral history, so that's kind of what it's about. All the stories in here belong to his family and describe how the descendants of Penizet, Saulteaux leader who lived in the Northwest Territories of Canada and the Great Plains of the United States in the 1800s, lived on the land, survived the smallpox and flu epidemics, signed treaties, and were confined to reservations. So I've only completed this much so far, which I think was just the introduction, and like talking about oral storytelling and also how important it is to preserve it, especially in written format, but obviously how that's completely different from the oral tradition. I just got to the first story, so this is actually the first work we're going to be reading, so I'm going to be continuing on with this pretty soon, but I'm so interested. I'm so excited because this is going to force me to read this author, even though I already have him on my shelf right here, and that is Gun Island by Ghosh. Is it Ghosh or Gosh? Please correct me. Oh, so excited. So this is about our guy, and he's in his hometown of Kolkata, where he meets by chance a distant relative, and his relative is like, yo, I have information on this myth, this legend you've been obsessed with for so long, and it's the legend of the gun merchant of Bengali. So our guy, he's from New York, he's from Brooklyn, he deals in rare books, and he's like, I'm gonna drop everything and follow what you're telling me about this legend because I've been obsessed with it. So the journey for this gun merchant takes him to the snake-infested depths of the Sundarbans in search of a shrine to the gun merchant. It's also a brave experiment in bringing climate change to action adventure readers. So, and then the other one I have from him here is The Hungry Tide, which also seems like it could be perfect for the course as well because I think it deals with similar issues. So that is Gun Island, another one I'm very excited for. We have the Captain of the Sleepers by Montero. It's called Captain of the Sleepers because our guy's job was to ferry back and forth dead bodies of people who died away from their land and who of course want to be buried on their land, in their country, in their village, in their town, city, whatever, when they are dead. So he is captaining a boat of corpses essentially, but it's more than that because we have a story of an affair wound into here, I think. For 50 years, Andres has carried a grudge. Andres was upset that he had an affair with his mother, which is understandable. All this is happening in the midst of the Puerto Rican nationalist movement, so lots going on in here. And then finally, the more textbook one, I guess, the Oxford Anthology of Indigenous Literature in English, Voices from Canada. So this is the more textbook one. I've also already started a few, I guess, chapters in here. Language is power, holding the ability to change reality. Yes, so excited for this one. So this one is just voices from all over Canada. indigenous voices. So, and then this is also edited and put together by Katarina Vermette in part. So those are all my academic ones. And then if you watched a vlog, you might have seen these. So really quickly, I bought Death in Venice by Thomas Mann. I might end up not actually using this. I haven't really talked about it too much, but I am going to be doing a thesis as well. 2 thesis papers, I think, because so Death in Venice, may or may not be using this in my thesis. I'm leaning towards no, but I wanted to have it just in case. I bought When We Were Orphans by Kazuo Ishiguro. This is one of my favorite books. I need to do a reread because last time I only listened to it on audio, but phenomenal. Detective story, the weirdest. Murakami. I think you'll like it, is all I'm gonna say. And then finally, the other one I bought was Hotel World by Ali Smith, which I also may or may not be using for my thesis. I don't know, guys. I'm having a crisis about it over here, honestly. I have a few more days to sort it out and get organized and present my, idea, my hesitant idea to my overseer, I guess. Is that what you call him? So, yeah. So that is Hotel World. Either way, even if I don't use Thomas Mann or Ali Smith, I cannot wait to read both of them, especially Hotel World, because this is about a chambermaid who, in a bet, is like, hey, I bet I can fit myself into the dumb waiter chute, but then she falls. She falls down the whole chute and she dies. And the first chapter is set from like her ghost or her spirit who hasn't moved on. So yeah. That is that. So that is my book haul, my first book haul of the year. I feel pretty good because I am trying not to add any new books, but of course the school ones were inevitable. But also the school ones will be read in a matter of months, and then these 3, one of them was already read, so what can you do? But yeah, if you have read any of those, please, I'd love to know your thoughts. If you have any other hotel books, a lot of you keep saying, or the ones you keep saying, A Gentleman in Moscow has been the biggest recommendation from you all. And then I have a few more on my shelf just personally that I'm gonna read through and pick out some hotel-y stuff because just obsessed with it. So thank you so much for watching this little book haul, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Let me know what the last book you bought was, and until the next time, that's when I will see you. So love you guys so much. Ciao.
Kinda mysterious, shaded with someone I'm not really in.